You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Revenge After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Revenge After Show.
Love
That's
it.
some dramatic music.
I was like, whoa.
Hello, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we're here doing it in the studio for the Revenge After Show, Season 1, Episode 18, Justice. I'm your host, Gabrielle Loren, and joining me are my co-hosts,
Phil Svitek.
Kimlai. Dorinda.
yes, and who's in the booth? Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Revengers. It's Ronnie.
Thank you, guys.
I feel like someone needs to be cast off at this point after hearing that awesome music theme song.
That sounded like Jurassic Park.
I
feel
love
like.
that.
Or chased by a dinosaur.
Well, I think tonight's episode was very juicy. It was different from last week's episode. I feel like this one had a lot more drama. We have a lot more building in the storyline and a lot more that's coming up. Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel about that, comparing it to last episode?
I thought it started off a little slow. I was surprised.
Especially with every...
That it picked up.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because last week's episode ended on such a note. You thought it would just keep going from there. But
But they got to build it within the
Yeah.
episode. I mean, things are definitely getting darker and darker and darker.
Right.
Yeah.
They are,
that
for
is
sure.
Yeah.
And in this episode, you see Declan being subpoenaed to go into court to testify in Daniel's trial, which actually I thought it was interesting. We passed 3 months, right? It's now it's now December and snowing in the Hamptons in New York City, which I thought was interesting.
And we're 15 days into the trial.
And
Well,
15
yes.
days, into the trial. So we missed the first 2 weeks.
Oh, we missed so much of it.
That was interesting.
I mean, we had diagrams, we had, Venn diagrams and all that. We had reenactments. That was fun. Seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know what I also thought was weird, and I noticed this in the last episode? When Mr. Brooks is at the Graysons' house, there is a lot of evidence information and the diagrams in there. I'm like, do they actually do that with defense and prosecution? Do they go to the house and have all the evidence laid out with their boards before the trial? Because I thought that was weird. I mean, maybe you guys would know. Do any of you know?
Well,
more?
Well, okay, go ahead.
go ahead.
You go
Oh,
ahead.
no, you. I insist.
Okay.
Unless you really want me to go.
Well, it depends. Like, they're up in the Hamptons. It's not like they're in New York City or anything like that, where that normally would take place in a lawyer's office, because that stuff does take place. All the diagrams, all the stuff that you see.
The juries, all the pictures.
the
I think
evidence
They
laid
really
out.
do
That
analyze that.
That really does, happen.
If you,
just-
if
'cause
you
you
have
worked
good
in-
lawyers.
I worked
Right.
in, yeah. So
By the way,
If you have good lawyers.
so just life lesson. If you know you have, and I'm going to say, you know you have shit lawyers when you don't have diagrams.
Yes.
You know you have good lawyers when they come to your house for a house visit.
exactly.
And they bring the office to you.
Well, and the
But-
Graysons have that money to be able
Well,
to do that.
yeah.
See,
Yes.
that's where, this isn't it's not regular. They don't make house calls like doctors do, unless do doctors even do that anymore?
I don't know actually. I think in
yes.
emergencies, but it's just a funny situation, and I did notice those little details. But going back to Declan being subpoenaed to be in court, we had Charlotte. I mean, they're now exes, right, on the show.
Yes.
3
She
months
dropped
later, they're
him.
exes.
Yes, last show 3 months ago.
Yes, and so Victoria wants Charlotte to convince Declan to go against his original statement. And we all thought this was a funny scene because the way Victoria approached it was like, you know what you have to do. And Phil, what did you say? Why don't you tell us?
she basically said you got to sleep with him, and I was right.
For lack of better
Yes.
words,
She
that's what
wanted-
she was saying.
She wanted her daughter to use her feminine wiles.
By the way, I was so right about that. And then the flip side of it, when they got home, and Victoria says, clearly, I forget what the sentence was, but basically she was, what's the damn word?
Convincing.
No,
do you-
she was chewing her out for not doing it. Let's just
Oh
say.
yeah, the next day she said you obviously weren't convincing enough because
That's
he
it.
didn't go
Yes.
to her side. He didn't side with
Yeah,
Charlotte.
see, and I said,
With
and
Charlotte's seduction.
you guys all said like she didn't just enough.
To make him want more, because you're not supposed to give it all away.
But
Nope.
he's supposed to keep
Nolan
wanting
wasn't
it.
supposed to walk in. So it could have went further. If Nolan wouldn't have walked in, she probably would have had
Yeah.
sexual relations.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's possible.
But to bring it to a serious side,
Sex, that's pretty serious.
that is pretty serious. But I mean,
It would have been the first time.
no, but
No, they've
I've
had
always
sex
been
before.
saying it would have been for him. But I've always been saying that eventually Declan, everything's gonna fall on him, and he's been this sort of man or pretending to be this man, and finally he's gonna have to deal with the pieces. And in today's episode, that's what he was dealing with. Okay, do I go with Charlotte? Or do I help my brother out? And
Yeah.
especially, I think the pivotal moment was when Nolan came in, and then him and
Yes.
that was a short scene, but they had a good conversation.
It was a great scene.
I don't
to be
think-
honest with you, that might have been one of my favorite scenes in the episode tonight.
Really?
And I think
Yeah.
it just shows how close that relationship is and
Yeah.
what a mentor he is, especially to
everybody.
Declan. To everybody, yes.
On the
But
show.
he's got a major bond with Jack. And, I think he feels that they need him. And I think that for him feels really good. And he's going
Yeah.
to try to do everything he can.
Yeah.
Wait until
but-
his grave is opened and he realizes exactly what Nolan's been doing the whole time.
Well, I
Seriously.
think the whole thing too is that Declan really feels that Nolan is his friend and Nolan really wants to protect him, which he does. Nolan really wants to protect him because for that reason, and that reason only, is because they are friends. And he's
Right.
also doing it for Emily too. But they want to protect him. They don't want anything bad to happen to Jack. And for that reason, once again, Nolan just wants friends. So having Jack as a friend then has Declan as a friend. And it's something bonding there.
And speaking of protecting, it's funny. I feel like the roles are switching. Declan's more of the mature one now, and Jack's like this little kid in love chasing after a girl that he doesn't even realize isn't who she says she is. And it's funny because Jack chooses Amanda over his brother, but Declan chooses his brother over Charlotte.
Well, ultimately, don't you think that he actually chose his brother? Because he did come home.
I do.
I think he chose his brother.
I don't think he knew his brother was in any trouble until
Yeah,
he
he
saw the
didn't know
TV.
it.
So
Yeah,
to
he
him, his
never
brother
knew
was
any of that
fine.
stuff.
He was going to come out with that sweatshirt. And if Emily didn't take it and set up Lee Moran, who is the little Frank we call him,
Yeah, Mini Frank.
yeah, Mini Frank, he would have been done for. So he was the only reason why this changed is because he of what Emily did, of Emily's plan. If Emily wasn't there to fix her own messes, then everyone else would be just going down.
By the way, I like how you say that because fix her own messes. Because in the end, the reason
It
why
is her mess.
Declan, Jack, Nolan, all these people are in this mess is because at the end of the day of Emily.
Well,
But yeah,
yeah,
because she
this
got
is-
emotionally involved, like Takeda said. You got emotionally involved, so Takeda had to take care of what he had to take care of with Tyler and everybody. And this is the mess she created. Yeah, so I mean,
she's the nucleus of this all. I mean,
yeah,
for no matter what, it all points to her.
right.
I mean,
The whole show.
I mean, to bring it back to Jack,
Talk about diagrams.
We should have a diagram up here
I
right
know.
now.
one day we'll get some diagrams.
And this is where and what and,
And
how.
you can draw it because it's gonna be way too complicated. Because I am not spending 3 hours on a diagram. Of
You
the
know
show.
what? Let's talk about this real fast.
Okay.
What do you need to buy? What do we need? We need supplies, right, to make these diagrams, right?
Oh,
Okay.
and no, and I want to say something too. And when season 1 ends, you can go through Amazon, but through our website, right?
Yes.
That's where you're gonna
That's
get to.
where we're going.
You can
That's
get
where
a
we're
going. That's
DVD,
where
or
we're
you
going.
can buy whatever school supplies you may need with diagrams. And you can go to our AfterBuzz TV website at www.afterbuzztv.com, and we have a link to Amazon. And once you do that, AfterBuzz TV gets some of those proceeds, the profits or whatever, from your purchase, and it will go back into our studio to service you guys, the audience.
That's right. And so, in essence, whatever you're buying on Amazon, again, For us, it's going to be diagrams. For you guys, it could be school supply. Or the Revenge Season 1 DVD when it comes out. Or whatever it may be.
Whatever you're purchasing.
And we're not asking you to purchase anything in particular, by the way.
No.
So I want to make that clear. It's not whatever you guys are buying already. Instead of going to Amazon directly, take that extra second, go to AfterBuzzTV.com first.
When I've taken the extra step to go to AfterBuzz and then click the banner that says Amazon, the purchase that I made, although Gabby makes a good point, buy Revenge Season 1 when that happens, I buy all the Brothers and Sisters episodes, seasons, because that is when I knew Emily Van Camp was going to be a star on the show you guys watch, Revenge. So that's how I do it, just kind of sharing.
Buy whatever you like, even if you want to go buy a book.
Anything.
Right.
You can do
Anything.
it. Anything.
But I mean, obviously,
I'm buying my Kimlai and Dorinda gifts and Gabby gifts right there on Amazon. Phil, you don't get a gift. I'm just kidding. Phil gets a gift too.
no, but like obviously all of you audience members tuning in right now are watching AfterBuzz because you're TV fans. So when you go to buy your DVDs of different seasons, whatever you're watching here at AfterBuzz, those television series, go through Amazon. I mean, Amazon's great, and then go through our website to get there. And it will help us bring you better quality broadcasts and just entertain you guys. So it will keep us alive here.
Right.
And also, please rate us on iTunes because that always helps us. Rating us on iTunes will pretty much allow other people to see what we're doing. And it's also good for you guys to tell a friend. By you telling a friend, more people know about us. We're getting out there. We can do more for you guys. So it always helps.
That's right.
Yeah, well said. And so now I think before we go into our next topic, which I want to get into more into Lee Moran, the mini Frank, I think we need to go to commercial. What? You were going to say something?
What?
Wow. We got to break up these topics, Phil.
We just did with that advertisement.
We just did.
Yeah, but so nobody. Okay, fine. We'll keep
No, well, I
talking.
think I think there's more to talk about Jack, though.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Revenge.
All right,
That's
so
what-
welcome
yes.
back. I think we're all just really excited about this episode and talking to you guys. So we're getting a little crazy here in the studio, but I did want to talk about Lee Moran and the whole jury situation and the threatening and the bribing by the Graysons.
And now we're for sure. Lee Moran is the mini Jack,
Yes.
right?
It's,
No.
No, Mini Frank.
Mini Frank.
Mini Frank.
Yeah, Mini Frank.
There's no mini Jack.
Except for Declan.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wasn't sure that was for sure his name.
But yeah, it's
So we
Lee
know-
Moran.
okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
all can.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Realize that.
Yay.
So Lee Moran, he's been paid by Victoria Grayson to threaten one of the people on the jury, who is, I think her name was Anne. She has a son.
A little son.
Yeah.
And
Because
we're
she's the only one. You guys remember when they were doing the profiles of the pictures, and she was the juror
Mary.
that was leaning more towards the conviction.
Yeah.
So they needed to convince her to go the other direction, so there's a hung jury.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because Brooks was the one who brought it up. Courtney B. Vance, who plays Brooks, brings it up. He looks over and sees her, and you see him start writing down
When we
stuff.
saw it too, though.
Yeah.
Because the camera was on her the whole
Oh yeah,
time.
and then he looks over, he starts writing stuff, and then he brings it into their office at the
strategy.
manor, right? Grayson Manor.
Yes.
Yes, and they start talking about it.
So I think with this whole thing that we're bringing up right now with Lee Moran, it got very confusing because, well, actually it allowed Emily to get some people out of a dirty situation, her loved ones, Jack and Daniel.
Oh yeah,
I think the biggest problem for me is we just haven't we haven't seen this guy enough You know what I mean? And he's just kind of a gun for hire by Victoria.
Yes.
And obviously, it's a nice kind of ploy. But, you know, I would have liked to kind of, it's kind of the typical storyline setup. If you see a gun at the end of Act 3, you better have set it up in Act 1.
Yes.
Which is a writing term. And basically, again, I would have liked to see him intertwined into the story in earlier episodes.
He was in a lot last week, but that was it.
Yeah, but
It should
that's
have
when
been
he
a
was
little bit
introduced.
more.
So that's just a slight pet peeve I have, just in general. But obviously he worked out well in terms of everything that's going on. I'd like to, for me, I'd like to see where Jack thinks. Again, Jack's wheels are turning. I don't know. What do you got?
Well, Jack's wheels are turning, but I think Declan thinks that Nolan has something to do with the sweatshirt getting out, because remember they all left to go look for Declan, and they come back and their house is, robbed, conveniently robbed, and the only thing missing is the sweatshirt. And if you notice, unless I noticed it wrong, which I could have, but when they're all sitting at the bar talking about it, Declan looks at Nolan. And Jack is still in the dark about all of this.
That's a really good pickup.
Because
Dorinda.
those are the only two that know.
Yeah, and
So
they were
it's
the
like,
only two that knew, and all that happened. And I personally think that's going to make Declan like Nolan a little bit more and say, really, he really
Is
does
protecting us.
Is protecting us. He wants to help us, and that's.
I think so,
I mean,
too.
I am predicting, but that's the way I feel, because I did notice that he looked up and he looked at Nolan and he.
But at the same time, Jack has no idea who went in there to take and who knew about it. First of all, because Declan and Charlotte were the only two people on the beach that could have seen him. So I think this is going to actually open up a big door for a whole lot of people to be questioning their friends and family members. Because who is Jack to think, like, who stole the sweatshirt with the blood on it? Where is it? I mean, obviously he's going to realize that someone else confessed to this murder. But there's a lot to be told, and there's a lot of missing fill in the blanks. And he's going to be the one to question them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Jack is the one out of everybody who is the most kept in the dark. I mean, he doesn't even really know who Emily or Amanda. He doesn't really know what Nolan. He has no idea about everything that's going on. I think in the end, he's going to be the one that's the most impacted by everything going on, and yet he's the one that everyone's really trying to protect.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of it. He has love in the middle of it. He has friendship at the middle of it. He's gonna lose everyone he cares about, through this whole story, I feel like.
And the whole thing is what Nolan even talked about, even though, the mess got cleared up in the end. But he said the Graysons will do anything. They'll destroy anybody as long as they're taken care of.
Right.
And that's what he kept reiterating the whole episode. And that's what he kept talking about how deceitful, how awful they are. So, I mean.
And I think he had to do that because I think like with Jack and Declan, it's like they're not familiar or used to people treating other people that badly or being that devious or coming up with schemes. And so Nolan had to continuously say it over and over. He's like, when someone doesn't get it, you have to keep telling them and telling them and telling them and hoping that they get it, because no one wants to think that someone can be that bad or that they are capable of that. Because Charlotte could have been she could have persuaded him.
Yeah, I mean, if they were still together.
He was like, this is my love, and what am I going to do?
And I think he was thinking
her.
about it.
I do too.
I honestly think he was questioning, well, what should I do?
What do you think, Phil?
But Nolan convinced him. Nolan convinced him of opposite. Nolan stood up there and said, no, like you said, Dorinda, the Graysons will take anyone down, and they'll take you and your brother with them.
Yeah, and they don't care. As long as they're protected and safe, they don't care who else is going down.
So I think in the long run, it was actually smart of him. But now it's going to be very confusing, because with this guy who, Lee Moran, who had hung himself, was probably murdered by somebody else, being paid off, and wrote a suicide note admitting to killing Tyler.
Well, we know that's what happened.
Yeah, because they did.
Conrad had.
Right. We do know, but we didn't see it. So I'm just saying, like, obviously that's what happened. But I mean, knowing that just went down and now somebody has confessed to killing Tyler, where does Declan stand in that he was on the beach sober and said he didn't see someone, on the beach? So now it looks like what's going on because he's saying he didn't see anybody yet. Somebody confessed to a murder.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that because there's so much happened in this episode.
It's just that the stories don't line up, and
because he would have saw him on the beach. Or it still would have. He could have
He could have not seen him.
He could have not seen him because he probably could have.
But Charlotte saw somebody, and somebody confessed to a crime.
But I think Charlotte is just not even credible at this point anymore. I mean, they know for a fact she's on Oxy. She downed some Oxy and was boozing it again in this episode. I mean, I don't think Charlotte's even credible at this point.
But yet Charlotte was right that there was somebody else at the murder scene.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
We all saw somebody else.
She was right about that. But here's what is really bothering me. Okay, any mother in their right mind, or any mother or any person who has that much money and that much social stigma to them, and their daughter, they know their daughter is doing drugs. No, Victoria said it twice. This
Papa
episode.
Grayson knows.
Yeah, Papa Grayson knows. They're still not doing anything about it. Like it's nothing.
So dysfunctional. They are dysfunctional.
So dysfunctional, and it makes me so upset for that little girl.
Well, hello. She told her little girl to go have
And I know, and she
relations
shows up
with
in
someone to
Hervé
convince
Leger.
them to take a different side.
Yeah, well, she shows up in
So-
that $3,000 dress that is made for a 30-year-old, not for a 16-year-old, mind
Yes. It's probably from her mother's closet.
you. Probably
You know, like.
in a mink coat.
And the sad part about it is like in life, you could either take the high road or you can go down the wrong way. And she is going down the wrong way because of her mother.
Well, if you also look at it, I mean, Victoria's whole storyline was about the fact that you have an unchosen path, right? Dominic kept saying that to her. Step out of the shadows, and clearly that's also reminiscent of Charlotte and her storyline.
Yeah,
she's stepping into the shadow by doing drugs,
Right.
by
Phil,
doing
thank
those
you.
things.
Yes.
yeah, you're right. You're so right.
And she has the chance now, being young, to choose her path. And like Treadwell said, maybe not in the best of situations, but do you want to be like the Graysons? This is your chance to be your own person. And she's being like her mother.
I'll say.
So
Well, yeah, because she has seen that her mother has gotten everything she wanted.
Yes.
And her mom has her thumb right on her.
And do you think that's what when she ran out? Do you think that's what she was really upset about? Because I know when she had the talk with Declan, she said, I really love my brother. Was it more about her brother or the fact that she failed in convincing Declan to do that?
I think it was the latter. I think she felt she failed. It's like she's not living up to her mom, the Grayson name. It's like the Graysons are convincing. Yeah. They do, this is their behavior. And her mom gave her a mission and she did not succeed.
Yeah.
She didn't.
And speaking of...
So maybe she's not cut out to be a Grayson.
Speaking of staying in the shadows and of the Graysons, I think Daniel's also becoming like his mother. Let's just talk it. I think it started, the turning point was when he was on the balcony at the house, staring at Emily's house, watching her like a creep, first of all. Calling her phone, she's ignoring him. He sees her in the house with Jack, already mad that she showed up to court sitting next to Jack, someone who they think could have been involved. So that was just funny. And I think his demeanor's changing. I think jail roughed him up a little bit. Maybe.
Well, I think that, and I thought it was quite poetic when you start to see that darkness come in and he's standing on, what is that, the veranda? Or the deck. Or
I'm going to call it the bell tower.
The bell tower.
That's where
I like that.
always.
That's really what it is.
I really like that. We're going to call it the bell tower from here on out, where he's standing out on the bell tower and, Victoria walks up. But it's in the same place that she always stands. Mm-hmm. So it's really starting to happen.
And she's always got her cell phone right next to her ear, making phone calls. Early episodes, it was to Frank and blah, blah, blah.
Right? It's always happening
deals
on the bell tower. It's always right there.
Yeah, because that's her private spot. And he can't go anywhere, so now that's his spot. And it's creepy. He was just sitting there watching her, but he can't go anywhere. I mean, even though he does have a full range of that big house, he still can't go anywhere.
But I have to say, being a fiance to someone who's in a bad situation on trial, don't you think if they can't leave the house and they're on house arrest and you're their neighbor, you should be in the house with them?
I agree.
You're going to be married. Like, hello, red flag right there. She's in her house with Jack. and then ignoring his phone calls. I mean, he knew, and that's why you see the look on his face and how upset he is and how this is all affecting him because he knows something's going on.
Well, I fault her for that part of it, but in terms of them not necessarily living together, that could be, a setup, by Brooks and all that. So who knows about that part?
Yeah, for legality reasons, you don't know.
No, but okay, I'm not saying live together, but she could be supporting him and like spending time with him while he's on house arrest, while he's instead of him drinking and watching her from the balcony.
No, but it also doesn't look good for the jury. You know what I mean? Because then he could be convincing her while they're together. So it's best. It is.
They're
I think it
She
is,
is
it is best
testifying.
to separate the two of them.
Because she did even say, because I have 19 pages of questions and answers I have to memorize.
Yeah, and then she left the house.
Yeah. Well, that was an
Again,
emergency. That was an emergency. And that emergency helped both of them, helped both Jack and both Declan. And she did go to Victoria and say, I didn't do this. I went there for Daniel. I'm protecting
Definitely
him.
covered her bases.
But
Yes, she did.
This is also
Definitely.
3 months in, and we have to admit, like, she wasn't originally going to go up and speak and make a statement. Was she subpoenaed, or it was just a mutual decision she was going to get up last minute?
Well, I think the attorney.
Brooks.
I think
It was
Brooks
Brooks.
But I think
suggested
as the
it.
case
Very like,
continues to progress, you're going
Right.
to have a different. You got to come in up with
Yeah,
different
it should-
strategies.
yeah.
it's because
It
they
changes all
wanted
the
her to
time,
hit the
you know?
emotional side with the jurors. Yeah, I remember. So that they would maybe sway. But that was recent. She wasn't supposed to testify.
Oh, no. She was
So
never
she could have been near him, and it wouldn't have affected anything.
No, I think I'm gonna. That's the thing I'm gonna fight you guys on. I think it's best to because anytime you get like too close, then you're sharing information, things like that, and it sways.
Right, but in real life, please, they would have been together if it was a legit situation. In real life, that happens all the time. As though they don't want them to be together, but no one's gonna know. I mean, maybe somebody
but
could find out, but
I
still,
don't
it's
know.
like you're gonna be married. You love the person. You're not gonna like not be with them.
it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I mean
know.
that's just my opinion. So
And it's the Graysons. I don't think she wants to spend, even though Daniel's there. I don't know if she necessarily. She's got other things she's got going on. She's got things to solve and
like,
figure
you
out.
know.
And
but I can't wait
she
to
is
see
over there quite a bit.
She has charities to run.
Well,
Right.
I mean, to talk about Victoria, obviously this whole thing spun out into a mess because she got emotional or whatever. She lost her focus, and as we see in this episode, Victoria is losing her focus.
Well, yeah.
I mean, she's spewing basically her theories to Conrad, and he's
which are
like,
pretty dead on, actually, most of them.
well, kind of. I mean,
Well,
it's just-
Amanda was definitely involved, and so is Jack. She's right. They are involved. They don't really know what the whole story is, but they're involved.
yeah,
She is right.
she is right, but
But her theories sound crazy to everybody else. So,
yes,
True.
so.
but
That's
that's
all.
yeah. I mean, that's what it is. And I was gonna say before that, I cannot wait until Emily gets up on the stand and testifies. I want to hear what her story is gonna be and what she has to say to convince this jury.
No, well, that's over.
I think that's
Well,
over now.
I
because
mean,
he
yes, you have
confessed.
somebody that confessed, but I'm sure she's still gonna get up in a future episode because there's still missing. The story doesn't completely tie together.
No, it doesn't.
Just because
but-
someone confesses, you can't necessarily clear everything.
The letter of a dying man, most of the times, especially a suicide letter, what they'll do first is they will look to make sure that it is his handwriting and stuff like that. And if it is his handwriting and it doesn't
Yes.
look coerced,
That's one of the
and they did
things.
find him hanging in a cell.
And the sweatshirt with the blood.
And the sweatshirt with the blood. They're probably, I would be surprised if that case goes
Here's the thing and this is more predictions, but the way the show works, it's too fast paced to basically spend too much time on this trial, and so I actually like that. And again, now we've kind of swept it. Now they're gonna have to deal with a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
And so,
Because Brooks said, we'll go get it dropped.
yeah, in a weird
get him outta
sense,
here.
things return to a normalcy if you
But-
can actually believe it.
Emily has all the evidence of Victoria's exchanges and threats and bribes with all these
Oh,
different people.
she'll use them.
And the guy, she's not doing nothing with them, please.
Well, not yet.
The guy,
Not yet.
The
Not yet.
Lee
Not
Moran
yet.
guy, there's a picture of him exchanging money with Victoria Grayson. Come on, like video recordings with him.
No, and that's
Oh,
what we're
she'll
that's
use
what we're
it.
gonna
That's
focus
coming
on.
Yes.
back. So that
Yeah.
trial is going to be reopened if it closes. I'm just going to say that.
Well, I don't know
You
if
know?
it'll necessarily. not
Well,
be a
you can't- I think-
trial.
I think-
it's not going to be a trial, but I mean, the revenge, the strategies of everyone getting each other back is going to go back to normal. We're out of the courthouse.
Right, but they're going to realize that Lee was not probably the guy who killed Tyler. you know, that could unfold. I mean, this is season 1. There's so much that could happen. You know what I mean? So it could happen, and we know that Emily is pretty much trying to cover her bases and has evidence of everything that's going on to pin people.
Well, she will use that to her advantage. Whatever she's gonna do, like what if she wants to turn Daniel against his mother? Like she's gonna find anything she can.
Well, and now
she will always
she
use
knows
it. Yeah.
that they're the ones responsible for killing her father.
Yeah, that's another
So,
thing because
oh my
she
gosh.
didn't know that. She had no idea until she heard Conrad tonight saying we have another David Clarke situation here. So she thought it was just a regular, you know,
He was stabbed.
Prison fight,
I mean, they were
someone gets shanked.
responsible for putting him in jail.
yeah, but she
not
didn't know
killing
for his
him.
death.
But so now, does that make you think that Victoria staged the Lee Moran thing, or David Grayson staged it with her?
No, Conrad did it.
I mean, sorry, not David Grayson.
No, it was Conrad taking
I
control.
mean, do you think it was just Conrad, or do you think Victoria knew that Conrad
no,
did that?
he's
No, it was
I don't.
Conrad.
No,
admit-
I don't think that.
No, she heard him. Conrad said it.
No,
When
but
he said that
no,
we
but
have
what she's
another
asking-
David Clarke.
I'm
She's
saying,
asking about
what she's
Victoria.
asking is was Victoria involved? And I think
I don't think so.
No.
Here's why not. Right, Victoria. At first, for me, episodes 1 through 6, she was kind of painted out to be this evil villain, and then eventually the as an onion, the layers unfolded, and it's really Conrad who drives this thing. And as you said today, this is gonna be the second mess I have to clean up for you. And so she's incapable. He's written her off, and he's basically the puppeteer for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, speaking of the second mess, that first mess, I don't even understand why he had to clean that up. I don't get that the artist.
Well, it's her past life.
Yeah, I mean, because she's
wha-
Vicky Harper in that life,
Right.
And we found out tonight a lot more about Victoria too.
Yes.
which was kind of interesting. Like she was actually in love with this man. She was afraid the fact that she was afraid she was going to get hurt. Then you found out that she was a con artist. Basically, they would do these forged portraits and sell them to
Right.
rich people, and that's because remember they had. I always thought it was interesting because Conrad said he met her in an art gallery. So that's where that all comes
my
together.
gosh.
Which, by the way,
Okay.
Does that
if
make
you look at it
sense?
symbolically, how interesting is it? This goes back to like episode 2 or 1 even, when we had the South Fork and Lydia. They were dealing with paintings all that time. So that was written in early on.
Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't even put until you just said that.
I didn't
That's
either.
quite interesting. But yeah, and Victoria really liked being with this Dominic because it brought her out of everything, which once again,
It's definitely a distraction.
it was a distraction for sure. But Conrad once again was like, "You need to go," and he left.
But why does he need to go?
Here's the thing, right? I mean, you guys can answer more of that question, but like I'm just looking at from like a story sense. Again, the whole notion of Victoria needs to choose her path.
Yes.
And the idea of that Conrad is this puppeteer, and guess what? He's choosing everyone's paths for them if they can't decide.
Yes.
So
And not only that, but it's going to get messy if she's involved with affairs, this and that. Like, they're trying to uphold an image to everybody else. And although it's being tarnished by all of the latest happenings, I mean, they still need to look semi-normal, and she's going to come out looking like this evil person that's just, I mean, she's
Who
just
doesn't care? And which I thought was very interesting.
not a real family, like cheating during the trial. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Even though they are divorced, what I find very interesting, and you're so right on this, Gabby, is I thought that was very irresponsible of Victoria, who is someone who is very responsible, always has a path and everything. And this was something so irresponsible of her in a time where she normally would be the most stoic one and everything. It
Right,
seems like
holding it
she
together.
wasn't, I know she needed distraction, but this is so unlike Victoria.
no, I think it is like Victoria because she seems to always fail in those high pressure situations. Like if the pressures are very high, she can handle it. But if it's a step beyond that, and I think we've seen instances with the David Clarke trial of that,
And I think she's losing control.
which
Of the situation.
basically she's really reliving that too because she was in love with David Clarke and now she's found this So again, where do her loyalties lie?
Right.
She's reliving the past.
She's also not happy, and obviously the current situation's not making it better. So I think she's finding her release with this guy that she used to see and
I do
had
too.
feelings
Yeah.
for, and it
And he
reminds
makes
her of David
feel-
Clarke a little.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
makes her
yeah.
feel good.
Makes
her
her
have
feel good.
a time. It makes her feel of a time that she wasn't her,
Right.
like her now.
Exactly. It
It's
brings her back to
another-
her roots.
Yeah, that's
type
why
of thing.
she's
Where
Vicky
she's from.
Harper with this guy and Victoria with Conrad and everyone else. Because
Right.
the guy calls her Vicky. He doesn't call her Victoria. He calls her Vicky.
Because he knew her before, and she was a totally different person.
Right.
But
What do we got?
what is
We
that?
got some music going.
It's like,
Is that-
oh,
It sounds like peaceful, actually.
I know. Sounds
Like that- like-
chimes.
Is there a cue to
chimes.
get into news and gossip?
I think that's my
Well,
alarm.
I mean, like,
Oh my god.
Is it your alarm? It's
It's over
Kimlai's alarm.
there.
All right.
funny.
Well, let's get.
We thought it was a producer in the booth. I think that's kind of funny.
Well, let's
Kimlai
get into,
works telepathically.
Why don't we do
That's
some
funny.
news and gossip?
I think that's a great idea. So, Ronnie,
And
take it away.
meanwhile,
I'm gonna go.
Kimlai is gonna silence her phone.
Oh my god. Ronnie.
I mean, well, how do you? Oh, what was your question?
no,
again?
go ahead.
Just go.
Okay,
No,
so,
no.
Ronnie,
Can someone silence this damn phone?
Oh, is it still going off?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, well, you should probably shut
All right,
it. I'm
news
sure
and
it's gonna keep
gossip
up.
time.
I'm going to do news and gossip while Kimlai shuts her phone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh
so for the week of April 23rd, yeah,
Yes.
week of April 23rd, just making sure I got that right. The news and gossip we have for Revenge. So it was on a 7-week hiatus the week before last week, but the ratings hit 7.58 million viewers for last week's episode. And that was just under Survivor, so I think that was like the top 4th on the entire ABC channel in ratings.
wow.
Yeah, for prime time, so that's pretty good. And ABC is close to renewing 9 shows for the fall season, and Revenge is included in those 9 shows. So yay for that. They're coming back, most likely. That's according to TVGuide.com. And also, I thought this was really interesting from the Huffington Post. The series creator Mike Kelly spoke with them, and he had admitted that Emily Van Camp's character will be causing a lot more damage throughout the series run. But he knows just how many seasons he wants this to go on for before the show's demise, pretty much. So he has it mapped out in his head. He knows when he
Yeah.
wants it to end, which
That
I think
just
is
means,
really interesting.
listen, I got 10 seasons in me. Let's sign that deal.
No, actually, he said that he doesn't want ABC to know because he doesn't want that to change their renewals. So that's something he's keeping to himself.
Huh.
Yes.
yes.
That's interesting.
That means sign me up for 10 seasons and we'll keep this going.
But I'm like excited. I mean, I think that just makes it all the more juicy.
Right.
You know, because he knows what he's doing. And this is a direct quote from him.
By the way, real quick,
Yes.
can we all read the Count of Monte Cristo so we can actually know what he is actually planning? Since that's what's inspired him to do this whole idea.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
I'll go
from
get
college.
the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I know,
I believe
right?
Spark Notes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
I
gosh.
get the audio version. Listen to
Oh
it
my
on
God,
it.
I do remember Spark Notes though from like back in the day.
In
That's
my day,
funny.
they were called Cliff Notes.
And that too. It was
Notes.
Cliff Notes, then it went to Spark Notes. It's funny.
Wow.
Do they even have that anymore? I don't know.
Oh,
But
that's all the kids read now. Anyway.
they
all
don't
right,
read.
Onwards.
So yeah, Mike Kelly said, I started the show with a quote from Confucius. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. In Emily's mind, success equals burying her enemies and most likely burying herself alongside them. She says in her voiceover, this is not a story of forgiveness, but she protests a little too much. If we do our jobs as the writers of the show, the story ultimately ends. However, many seasons down the road, with Victoria and Emily standing across from each other and all of the bodies between them, they forgive each other. So that's sort of where we're headed eventually, but it's going to take a long time to learn that lesson if indeed she does learn.
So spoiler alert.
So that's a huge spoiler
Whoa,
alert.
Yeah.
that is.
Spoiler alert!
Which
Spoiler alert!
I totally see
Wow.
that happening. Like everyone dies. It's just Emily, or it,
But
and
she
maybe
did
not
love
physically,
her
but
father, and she did have a daughter from her father, so that's...
No, and here's the thing.
That
I mean,
could happen.
even if that does happen, the awesomeness of the show and writing in general,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's good. You kind of always can predict it and know where it's headed in essence, but the way you get there is That's the beauty.
Yeah, it is. And I think that would also be a very interesting end to a great show to have those two main characters stand before each other.
It's got to be like a Western. We got to get some
And
Western
everybody's
theme
dead.
going.
And you know what? And the whole forgiveness thing. Do you guys watch Oprah's Life Class? Because she just did a whole thing on like forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is just like an amazing point to make in this show.
That's what Mike Kelly
To
was
end
watching.
off like that.
Oprah's going
was
to come in
inspired.
between the two and be like, listen, guys, I know you have your issues. Oh, my goodness. Next point. What do
No,
we got?
but that was and I did want to do something in the special segment, but I'll just do it
real quick. Mike Kelly did say something else. He said, as far as the series goes, and everybody talks about, you know, how long can they keep this going and stuff, and he said, in quotes, "We made sure we populated the world with enough interesting characters that you can get caught up in their stories as well." Kelly told the New York Post, reminding that Revenge just isn't the Emily Thorne show. So it goes into what you were talking about.
Yeah, because you guys love Nolan. We know this.
Oh,
Right.
how we love it.
Love his character.
Oh, he retweeted and favorited a tweet of mine today, by the way. Very excited.
Yes, we love that, especially from him. He's one of our favorite characters on the show.
Yes.
Always
Yes.
loved him. And when I did want to shout out to our audience members, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Adrian, especially, I know you're watching right now. You're always on the message boards and you're watching our shows. So I just wanted to shout you out and say thank you for being an active AfterBuzz TV fan and Revenge fan. So thank you for that.
Wait, and one of the actors tweeted you guys back? I like that. That's
yeah.
cool.
And we've had a few tweets back and
he's
favorites.
retweeted.
Yeah, he's
before.
retweeted and favored it before, but it's pretty awesome. It's nice.
No,
Right.
Gabby's had the chance to meet him and,
Yes.
and all
Really
this fun
cool.
stuff. And
We might
yeah,
all have
she
the
couldn't
chance-
grab him and be like, all right, we're going in studio right now. Let's go.
I couldn't do that, but I am in touch with his publicist, so we are trying to get him on the show. So you guys keep your fingers
And I was
crossed and
gonna
keep
ask-
tweeting.
Yeah,
It's
to
just
him.
what it ends up being is just a matter of scheduling with these people. You know,
Yeah,
and
so
that's
we'll
not to say
figure
like
it
they
out.
don't want to. They're obviously very successful. Timing is very hard for them, and so
Yeah, I mean it is, and especially when we film at 11 at night. But you guys, fans out there, please tweet to your favorite castmates and let them know you want to see them on AfterBuzz TV. So we're gonna try and make it happen for you, and that's for sure. And also, if you guys want to see my interview with Gabrielle Loren, you can YouTube it. It's with Maximo TV, and it's the Zoe magazine relaunch. And he gave some spoilers about the end of the season, so you guys might want to tune into that. Very cool. Maybe we'll post it on the AfterBuzz page. You guys already saw it because I showed it to you. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I did want to bring up one more thing. This is now out of news and gossip, but I was looking at the message boards and the fan boards, and I got two different things from people that were writing up there. And one by For Van Angel from fanform.com said, "Is Daniel getting out of prison only for the purpose of not making him look like a suspect, or was Victoria really afraid that something would happen to Daniel?" I mean, I think we kind of know the answer, but you never know Victoria's true intentions with that. So what do you guys, are you resolved with it by this episode?
I am. I think she really did it because she was afraid something was going to happen to him. I mean, that was pretty big.
But again, I'm just gonna say, how stupid is it? You're gonna now beat up your son
But
because you think
she did it sooner than it happened
Happens
later.
Yeah, we talked about that because it could have been months. Because he could have had a little money to pay someone off
I know.
here. He could have had a little something here.
I just still think it's funny. It's like as of saying, I'm really worried that Gabby's gonna get jumped while she's
so
going
I'm
to
gonna have her
car.
jumped anyways.
Yeah, there
While
you
I'm
go. But
sleeping with
anyway.
another man.
Yeah.
I mean, she's ruthless. Let's just put it that way. But okay. And then there was another one that's from Bad Girl.
Okay.
She said, "What was Emily's motive in exposing that the tapes are with Victoria and have Mason Treadwell turn against them? I thought they needed him to help Daniel in influencing the public opinion, and this is not helping. I didn't get it." I thought that was interesting.
Well, you want to take that one?
No, go ahead.
I think it forces him to tell the truth. And I think that's what all came out. Because once he saw the tapes, that's when he turned around and he says, I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to tell the real story. I'm going to tell the truth. And I think with him seeing the tapes was like, I'm not doing anything else for these people anymore. If the guy is innocent, he's innocent. I'm just going to tell the story the way the story is. And I think that's how that worked out.
Right. And I think she's also trying to turn, in general, Mason against the Graysons.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
have, obviously, like
Yes.
you're saying, Dorinda,
Yeah.
have him for once defend the people in the right.
that he was set out to do in the first place.
Yes.
But
Yes.
because of the Graysons, it ruined his reputation, his house, everything.
Right.
And so-
and he does not need the Graysons anymore, like he mentioned in the episode. They're a falling empire, and he doesn't need to be associated with that.
Yeah. And he even went to the fact of saying to Victoria, don't you dare do anything to Amanda Clarke. That girl has been through enough. So I think he's another guy wanting to come to Amanda Clarke's because he knows he's done Amanda Clarke wrong. Because it's a lot of reasons why she was where she was at for years is A, because he didn't tell the truth, and he had the wherewithal to tell the truth because he did talk to Amanda Clarke. He didn't know about the Charlotte. He knew about all those things and didn't say anything because the Graysons had him by the purse strings.
Right. Because it was going to better his career in life.
It was going to better. It was going to, his station in life was going to be better.
Right. What do you think, Phil?
I think
Do we
time
pretty
for-
much clear it up for you?
I think it's cleared.
There you go.
Gotcha. Well, that's good.
Are there any more? I like those. Do we have any more questions?
That's all I picked for today.
Can you make one
I'll
up?
do more for next week, though. I promise you guys. But for predictions, can we go into that?
Oh, wait. I had something about Connor Paulo.
All right, we'll say that right after predictions.
It's fine. We don't have to talk about it.
Does it? All right, you know what? Say what you're going to say, and we'll go right into predictions.
No. It's fine. We can do predictions. We're cool.
All right. Let's
Okay.
do predictions.
All right, well,
We're free flowing today.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're out of the shadows, following our own path, just like they did
Dorinda,
on Revenge.
You have
Just like they're not doing
or
it.
like we're not doing. We're doing it. We are.
So
like
what's
Bing.
What's the verdict? We're doing the predictions?
We're
or?
going to do predictions.
Yeah.
That's a good word, Ronnie.
Thank you,
Just
Ronnie.
like justice will be
Predictions, boom.
served, and we're doing
Wow.
predictions.
Okay.
But yeah, so predictions. Thank you again. We'll go into
Now,
the second
your
time.
AfterBuzz TV.
Wow.
So
I love Emily Van Camp.
I wanted to ask you guys.
Okay.
You know, this is a very interesting topic, and I saw this online as well, and I thought, why don't I ask you guys, who is Emily's mom? Who is Emily's mom? Do we think she's, like, who is she? First of all, she's never once been talked about at all.
I thought she was dead.
I thought she was dead too.
Thought, right? It was only maybe in the pilot they might have covered it for a second, but on one of I think it was actually, it was TV Guide. They had like 10 questions about revenge. And that was one of them. Who is Emily's mom? And it says, almost nothing has been said about the former Miss David Clarke. On a show where everyone's dirty laundry has a way of coming out, it has to only be a matter of time before something juicy is revealed about Emily's biological mother. And perhaps what... you just had a realization. Wait. And perhaps why viewers have heard or seen diddly squat about her thus far. What do you think?
Are we on tonight where we saw the previews for next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Is that
predictions.
what,
I
is that
don't
what
know
you're
about-
at? The
No, no.
blonde? The lady that they showed tonight. Remember I said there's
could
another
be.
character that's going to be on next week's episode, and she
be.
gets in a fight
Yes.
with Emily. She's blonde. I mean, Emily's
Blonde with a gun.
Blonde.
Yeah,
Yes.
we didn't really see her face or anything.
Where
So,
were you? We didn't have to save that.
That's
What
a
were you
prediction
thinking?
right there.
Wow.
You never know.
But I thought she was dead. I just thought maybe she had cancer and she died when she was young.
mean, it's too. It was put too easily to the side. I feel like for it to not be a developing story. You know, they're going to
What do you-
develop that.
What do you think? Did you think something else?
Yeah, I thought something else, but that still doesn't make any sense.
But even if they do
That I
say
thought
that she was dead in the pilot, there's a lot of things that were said that were then taken back, like how David Clarke was killed. That's one of the things that came out tonight. So this storyline can keep developing and keep changing and going in different directions.
Oh yeah.
That's one of them. Good observation. Phil, any predictions on your side?
I never really write notes for the predictions. I don't know. I just it's all jumbled, and I always like to look at the teasers from
Right.
the week before for the actual one we do.
Yep.
So that way I can kind of figure out how they cut the trailer together, and
very interesting.
and it's interesting how they did it last. They had Dan's little I killed him in cold blood and all that kind of stuff. It was interesting how they pieced that in last week's teaser to this week's teaser. So. I'm not fooled by them, and therefore I choose not to participate.
Phil knows the inside workings of production, so he is not participating in our predictions.
You know what? I think Emily and Nolan are brothers and sisters.
Oh, I've always
Well,
felt that.
yeah,
I agree with you.
I think
I think
that's-
they're half
yeah.
siblings or something. And they both have blonde hair. Come on.
It's the blonde hair.
Yes.
And they're both into
do.
guys.
And I definitely think Amanda's coming back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
she has
Amanda's,
to.
yeah, she'll be back
Oh.
in the next few episodes.
For sure.
And I
And
think she's been
Takeda.
spending enough time with Takeda that she's going to come back a different person. Not this, fly by the seat of the pants girl. I think she's going to come back totally different because she's been
And-
with him.
And as we
Right.
predicted, Declan's gonna put 2 and 2 together.
Yes.
About,
Oh, yeah.
about
That's for
Nolan.
sure.
Declan's
Oh, yeah,
gonna get it.
for sure.
Yes.
For sure. And I think Charlotte's, I don't like the way it's going for Charlotte. And I definitely think there's going to be something that's going to happen this season, especially in the finale.
Well,
where
her and Emily are sisters. Something has to happen.
Yeah, but in the finale, I think something really dark is going to happen. Like, I have a feeling that her character is not going. It's light now. They're taking this drug use light, but they're getting more into the drug use.
That Charlotte's gonna die. Well, someone is gonna be killed off. Spoiler alert. Yes, most of you know that, the fans out there. But
Yeah.
someone's going to be killed off at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So, and that's a main character.
Which, by the way, we
So-
thought it was Dan who hung himself, and that was a big moment for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow! But
yeah,
for
in the
a
beginning, I
second,
got
and then it's
scared.
like, oh,
No, but
it
that,
couldn't
that's
be
what they
him.
want. That's what they wanted,
And we did.
That's
And
great
we-
filming.
We
for
did
you.
for a
And
second.
writing.
For a second.
Again, for a second, we did fall for it.
Yeah, and that was the thing because I mean they made it so perfect where you have the scene with Victoria walking into Dominic's apartment or loft. They walk in everything's gone, and you have Courtney B. Vance walking the hallways, and he's going to see Daniel, but then he winds up at this guy's, cell, and you don't know that he's going to see the
and
guy.
he just writes the note saying, I'm going to make this easy for you. The last time I wrote you, I was in this same situation.
Yeah.
The note he was writing.
See how much we all missed, and
You
not
guys, that's
because not
scheming.
because we're.
It's getting back to, so that one did with this, and then who, and then this one, and it's all connecting.
Anyway, to keep the conversation going.
I'm Kimlai. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Kimlai Yingling.
I'm Dorinda Barker. You can follow me at Lula Cherry Films at Twitter.
And I'm Gabrielle Loren, and you can follow me at Gabrielle_Loren and Gabrielle Loren1 at Facebook.
And I'm AfterBuzz TV on AfterBuzz TV.
Good job, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode of Revenge.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.